This is a track guide to Imola in Assetto Corsa with the GT4 Audi R8. Now the trick to this track, I would say, is really aggressively taking the curbs in most of the corners, and you'll see that as we go through the track. Now you want a clean exit out of the last set of corners so that you can build up the speed for the long straight. You can get really close to the wall in these little kinks, so you can maximize the track. Now your first braking marker is this traffic signal, or this bright orange man over here. You want to brake just alongside them. Try to stay around the middle of the track, because it does curve left a little bit, so you want to stay along the middle so that while you're braking in a straight line, you'll reach the edge of the track before you turn in. If you start braking around here, you'll have to correct your steering, and you might even end up in the grass. So this is a set of 3 corners, and as I was saying before, you want to really aggressively take the curbs. In the first corner, you want to really aggressively cut the curbs. It doesn't seem to upset the car too much. In the second and third corner, you don't want to cut the curbs too much, because it'll really upset the car and slow you down. If we take it in slow motion, you'll see what I mean. Brake alongside the orange. Come over to the right. Start turning in. Really aggressively over these curbs. Not so aggressively over these. You don't want to bounce your car too much. You lose a lot of time. Not so aggressively over this, and then flat out. In this turn, this is another set of 2 turns. The first corner, although it looks sharp, it is actually quite fast. You want to, just before the 50-meter board, about a car's length before the 50-meter boards, right around here, you want to brake. You want to point your car towards this corner and brake, downshift once, brakes, and slow down just enough so that you can clear this corner. Then you want to straighten up, brake hard for the following corner. Brake right there, slow down just enough, get a little bit on the gas, brake hard for this tight corner, and then come back in. Another thing I should mention about this track is you'll see a lot of these dark green patches. They are really slippery, and you want to be careful of how you position your car over these. Normally what I would do if I have to use these runoffs, I would try to keep at least two of my inside wheels over the curb or on the road as much as possible. Try not to get all 4 wheels on this thing, because it might spin you out. Coming up to the following hairpin, this is the 50-meter board. You want to brake a car's length ahead of this 50-meter board, so right around here. Imagine your tail along this 50-meter board, and you'll want to brake there. You want to brake and go wide, and then come in for a late apex. Cross the 50-meter board, a car's length ahead. Turn in, hit the late apex, and then power out into the second straight. This is another set of 2 turns. So the first one is again quite fast. You want to brake just after you cross the 50-meter board, a car's length ahead, so around here. You want to be pointing in that direction, and you want to slow down enough so that you can clear the curb, but you can get back on the power as soon as you apex, because the turn really opens up. And if you're already pointing in that direction, you won't have too much turning to make. If we slow down, cross the 50-meter board, slow down, point into that turn, and then get back on the power as soon as you apex. The turn really opens up. Be careful of this green patch. You don't want all 4 wheels on these, and you can go flat out through this set. In this upcoming corner, again, you want to brake. This is another very fast corner. You want to brake right after the 50-meter board. You want to be pointing in that direction towards the corner before you start braking. You want to brake a car's length ahead of the 50-meter board and into the corner, and after that let me just split this in half. You want to brake just enough so that you're past that corner. Now what you want to do is try to line yourself up alongside this curve as much as you can and slow down so that you can meet this sharp corner. Line yourself up, slow yourself down. Don't cut this corner too much because this is really bumpy, but you can cut this corner quite a lot. Just try not to go over the grass, but you can cut this corner without invalidating your lap. This corner you want to brake alongside, just between the 50 and 100 meter boards, so around 75 meters. You want to be braking right there along the middle. And this chicane you can really aggressively cut the curbs, which makes it really easy. What you want to be doing is keeping at least 2 wheels on the curbs and 2 wheels over the curbs so that you don't invalidate your lap. If you cut it any deeper, you might invalidate the lap. So if you go in slow motion, braking between the 150, slow down, really aggressively cut the curb, 2 wheels over these and then 2 wheels over these curbs so that you don't cut your lap. Be careful on your exit. You don't want to go too far into this green strip. It might spin you out, and if you're on this gray, it will invalidate your lap. Over to the final straight. You want to be braking. You want to come to the right before you're braking. You don't want to be braking well. So you want to come over to the right as soon as you can before you hit your brakes. You want to be braking right alongside this 100 meter board. And braking alongside the 100 meter board and turning in. You can cut the curbs a bit more than I have done. Be careful of the green, don't go too far into it. You want to brake just a little bit, like half brakes, just before you turn in, to get the car slow enough and nose heavy so that it turns into the turn. Cut this curve a little bit and then exit, and be careful again of this dark green patch. You don't want to be all 4 wheels over it. It will destabilize your car. And that was the lap. Now let's take a look at an uninterrupted lap, see how we did. Again, you want to brake alongside the orange. Brake straight to the right, cut the corner, don't cut it this one too much and not this one either. Brake just before the 50, brake really hard for this turn. This is where a lot of people might lose their speed if they don't brake hard enough. Brake right at the 50, get a late apex, power out. Brake just after the 50, get on the gas as soon as you hit the apex. It's a wide turn, you can go flat out through here. Brake right after the 50, slow down just enough so you can get past, then brake hard for this corner. Really abuse the track limits on this turn. Again, you want to brake in between the 100 and the 50 and abuse the curbs in these corners. Get alongside, brake on the 100, cut the curb a little bit more. You can cut the curb, slow down just a little bit so you can turn in and then power out into the straight. Now this lap was a 1 minute 55.799. I hope you guys learned how to drive this track. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will be sure to get back to them.